Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Hello, this is DK Singh. Welcome to the fourth episode of Politically Correct. In this episode, we will discuss questions sent by our viewers on the controversy over Gautam Gambhir's Jalebi movement, as we call it. He was seen eating Jalebi in Indore with VVS Lakshman and others, while he was expected to be in Delhi attending Parliamentary Committee meeting on air pollution. There were posters all over Delhi saying missing, last seen eating Jalebi, with Gambhir's picture in it, of course. Aam Aadmi Party has gone after him, so have Twitterati. He is being trolled everywhere. Gambhir has clarified that he had this prior engagement and he had informed the committee, but controversy has not died down here. But what we are discussing here today is the larger question. Are our MPs and MLAs as insensitive and negligent as they are made out to be? You may have come across many who actually look like what we have been seeing them in real life. You remember the 1975 film Andhi, where you see Suchitra Sen going out on a campaign, and in the background you have people singing Salam Kijiye Ali Janab aaye hain, 5 saalon ka dene hisab aaye hain. Cut to 2015 or 16, that was the last time I saw this movie, Singh Returns. You see similar portrayal of politicians. Nothing has changed. But if you ask me, much has changed for these politicians. The MPs and MLAs today are much more conscious than what they used to be. Much more conscious of their responsibilities. I'm not saying they have become paragons of virtue. No. Some of them might actually be looking like, might actually acting like what they are portrayed as. But most of them, at least a large number of them, are doing what they are expected to do as public representatives in parliament and in the state assemblies. The fact is we have huge expectations from politicians. And I'll tell you an anecdote. During the last budget session, I was having dinner with an MP from Karnataka, and then suddenly the doorbell rang. A woman enters, puts a suitcase on the ground, and then tells the MP, I'm here to seek an appointment with the Prime Minister. The poor MP, he was shocked. He said, how can I get to the appointment? She said, you are our MP. He was trying to explain that this is not the way you seek an appointment with the Prime Minister, and even I can't get it for you, because even when I have to seek an appointment, it takes a few weeks to get that appointment. So you can tell me what you want, and then we'll see if we can solve it. No, I'm not going to discuss it with you. You have to seek an appointment. When the MP said no, she just stomped out. Of course, he lost. If she had voted for him, he had lost that vote. There was another instance actually 3-4 years back. There's this union minister who was coming out of the house. He was sort of waylaid by a person with a bouquet of flowers. He gives it to him and he says, "Kuch kaam tha. I have some work I need you to do something." And MP usually, he was a Rajya Sabha MP. He was always a Rajya Sabha MP, so he never really faced the people and the expectations that they have. He said, no, I have a lot of work, I have an appointment, I have a meeting, I have to go. And this guy kept pestering. You have to do my work. And once the minister said firmly no, he literally snatched the bouquet from his hand. And he's saying, "Acha, theek hai, aapke paas time nahi hai, to ye unhi ke liye hai jo mera kaam karenge." I have seen them also. I know what public expectations are. And why every time any MP commits even a small mistake, how people go after them. And you can understand why. You understand the public psyche. There are lots of expectations. But what is there in reality? What we have seen in the films, their powers and the clout they enjoy is all there in paper. In reality, they have a lot of constraints. What do you think they can serve the people as? How will they serve the people? As an MP, you have MP Local Area Development Fund, that is 5 crores a year. And again, you can make recommendations for development works in your constituency, but it's up to the district administration to implement them. And suppose you are representing a party which is not there in power in that state, forget all that cooperation. And so you must have seen many reports where MP-led funds have been lying unutilized. That's one part of it. Then you come to their functions as a lawmaker in parliament. how much do you think they intervene in lawmaking? They make speeches for sure, but they have to toe the party line. I mean, if you're part of a ruling party, you cannot be raising objections to any provisions of the bill. Technically you can, but practically they don't. You have to obey your party whip. You have to vote for the bill or against the bill as your party desires it. What else can you do? You can raise questions, issues of public importance, urgent matters of public importance. There are various rules in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha under which you raise all these questions. But as Aam Aadmi Party MP Sanjay Singh was telling the other day in the Rajya Sabha, he was saying we keep raising these issues, but nobody bothers to answer. So these questions are raised in Parliament, nothing is done about them. That was his take. And he gave an instance. He has been there for 2 years. He said in 2 years, the only thing on which I could draw the government's attention on was when he raised the issue of Mahatma Gandhi's picture being used on a liquor bottle or by a company on the liquor bottles. And that was when the government acted promptly. I'm not blaming the government for not dealing with every single question that the MPs raise. Any government of the day tries to satisfy the MP, and the MPs have the forum to, they can go and meet the ministers, get their works done. But that's about it. Today, what we see in the corridors of power in Parliament today or outside, during all these sessions, winter session is on. So whenever you have a Parliament session, you see all these MPs going after ministers in the Central Hall, in their offices, at their residences, to get the work done for their constituencies. And I have seen it all. So when we talk about the insensitivity of the MPs, their cinematic portrayal, it's different from what happens on the ground today. So these I have been watching for the last 2.5 decades since I started covering politics. But anyway, let me take the first question sent by one of our viewers.
Should people choose celebrity representatives for themselves? These people seem to have different priorities apart from serving the public.
It may be partly true, Prakha, because celebrity MPs have been seen even escaping parliament duties. But it's truer in the context of MPs who have been nominated to the Rajya Sabha. Now we have seen Sachin Tendulkar was made a member of the Rajya Sabha. He was hardly there. He hardly participated in any of the debates during all those 6 years that he was there. But in the Lok Sabha, we have a mixed result. Now you saw Hema Malini, I think right before the 2019 election when she was contesting from Mathura. And the tweet that went viral it was her tweet. She was seen holding a stack of hay with a sickle in hand. She was basically trying to show how she was there among the people and farmers. The same actor in 2016, when there were violent clashes in Mathura, several people were killed in a clash between the police and some people who were encroaching public land. She was nowhere to be seen. Instead, she was shooting for a movie somewhere else. Guess what? She returned to the Lok Sabha. She won the election by over 3 lakh votes. Then you have her husband, Dharmender. He was Bikaner MP, and right after his election, just a few months after his election, in all over Bikaner you had posters, Dharmender missing. He hardly went back there. Dharmender's son, who is the MP from Gurdaspur this time, he triggered the controversy barely weeks after he won the election. He appointed a writer as his representative in the constituency. Basically, a kind of franchisee. So you have these actors also. Again, talking about Gambhir, and in that context, let's talk about another cricketer turned politician, Azharuddin. In 2009, he was elected MP for Moradabad. He didn't do anything there. In 2014, he shifted to Tonk Savai Madhopur in Rajasthan. He lost from there. There are many such instances where celebrity MPs have left many people wondering if they voted them or if they did the right thing by voting for them. But there are other instances. Again, taking it from the cinema world, Sunil Dutt, he was elected for 5 terms from Northwest Mumbai, and he did a lot of work there in that constituency. Let's talk about Even Navjot Singh Sidhu, he was Amritsar MP from 2004 to 14, and he has done some good work there. Even as he was commentating for different matches, he had other assignments, commercials, but he was seen as a very serious MP. So I would say the opinion is divided on that. By and large, though, celebrity MPs have been a disappointment in terms of fulfilling the expectations that people actually report, the faith that people report in them.
Do you think celebrity politicians take their responsibilities less seriously compared to other politicians? Do they just assume their popularity will ensure that they stay in power?
As I said in my response to the earlier question, yes, a large number of them don't seem to be coming up to the expectations of the people. Some of them actually, even while not doing anything, managed to get re-elected. We have spoken about Hema Malini. Now, some reporters once asked her, "What have you done for your constituency, Mathura?" She said, "A lot." She was then asked, "Can you specify?" She couldn't specify. And yet, she got re-elected by a margin of 3 lakh votes. So yes, I mean, their popularity sometimes ensures that they get re-elected, but it did not go for long. As we saw in Dharmender's case, as we have seen in many other cases, which I just mentioned a few of them.
Do you think people are unfairly targeting Gautam Gambhir as he clearly stated that he expressed his unavailability beforehand?
Yes, Ashish, I do. He was unfairly targeted because if you remember, there were 25 MPs who had absented themselves from that parliamentary committee meeting. Only Gautam Gambhir was singled out, even though he had informed the committee, as he clarified later. But somehow there was something in his response which probably could have somehow incited his detractors. What he said was, "Look, I am not here to make money. I am not in politics to make money, but I have a family to support." Now, what does an MP get? Today, I think in his account monthly, he must be or he is getting 1.89 lakhs, which is no big deal. But for somebody like Gautam Gambhir, if you expect him to, live on the salary of 1.89 lakh a month, and if he does not get re-elected or retires, 25,000 rupees a month of pension, we are probably asking him too much. You may have a question that, okay, he is in public service. Now that he has decided to come into public service, why is he thinking about money? That's a different thing. But yeah, MPs, they have their expenditures to take care of. The parliamentary committee we are talking about, its chairman is Jagdambika Pal. If you recall, he is the same one day CM in Chief Minister. He was the Chief Minister of Uttar Pradesh for one day. Now, if you go to Jagdambika Pal's house, there is a permanent kitchen running there because people from his constituency keep coming and everybody is fed. Now, if you look at the life of an MP, I recall another instance, Girdhari Lal Bhargava, he was Jaipur MP for 6 consecutive times. And anytime you would call him, he would be in a train traveling to Hardwar because he attended every birth, every function related to birth, death, marriage, everything in his constituency. Whoever called him, he would go. So I was talking about his travels by train. So he would basically, if somebody died, he would be taking the ashes to submerge it in the Ganges. And he would be doing it almost every week. He would be traveling. In every marriage function, he would go. And when an MP goes to a marriage function, and he's not giving you just a bouquet, and the expectations are much more. And that money is never accounted for. So we are digressing here. What I am saying here is, when it comes to Gautam Gambhir, yes, he was targeted. So there comes Gambhir's money-making point. That is that he has to support his family and he is not in politics to make money. But as I said, didn't you think about it when you joined the public service? But that does not take away the fact that he was unfairly targeted. And why not others? Why just Gautam Gambhir?
We for IAS officers, IPS officer who share burden of nation building along with MLA, MP are trained for 1.5 to 2 years before they are given responsibility. Same way, we know and understand that our MLA and MP are from different background and may not have formal education or understand systems or demographic or problem solving methods correctly. So why don't we select our candidates prematurely 2 years before actually needed and send them for intensive training by independent body like for IAS?
For that, you will have to amend the constitution. Article 83 provides for Lok Sabha's life for 5 years. After that, it's dissolved. Yeah, of course, if there is an emergency, the Lok Sabha's life can be extended, as Indira Gandhi did in 76. And yes, in 75 she imposed emergency. Elections were scheduled in early 1976. She extended Lok Sabha's life by a year, and then again by a year after the end of the first term. So it can be done. But to train MPs and MLAs, do you want to amend the constitution? If you ask me, I don't think there is any need for this, because there are already existing systems in place. So you already have BPST, Bureau of Parliamentary Studies and Training, which has been renamed as PRIDE, that is Parliamentary Research Training Institute for Democracy. So there you have orientation programs for the MPs, whoever get elected, and then after that what to ask, what are the available resources to them, how can they raise matters of public importance, how are they going to take their schemes to their government schemes to their constituency. So there is all kinds of training that they are provided. Leaders also take some initiative. For instance, after this election, I think in July, Amit Shah held a meeting with the newly elected MPs, where he gave them, a 2 or 3 point prescription, I would say, where he said that, your first thing to do is to be very active in the House, in the Lok Sabha, and second thing is to create an impression in your constituency about the work you are doing in the Lok Sabha, and then of course enhancing the image of Parliament outside and inside. There were all kinds of suggestions. So when you have your party president and the Home Minister coming to you, trying to explain things to you, how you have to act, and if you have active party leadership, you get when you have other colleagues who have been there for long, you get all those advices, be it about asking questions, be it about how to get things done. If you don't know how to get a road in your constituency, you have got a demand from the people, you can go to the minister, get him to sanction. So I have been meeting first-time MPs, and within a couple of months, they know what the Lok Sabha is all about and what they are supposed to do. So I think for now, I don't think there is a need for this 2-year training program. Though I do appreciate the spirit of the question. Yes, MPs and MLAs should be seen as being conscious of their responsibility and how they are going to fulfill them.
Politician have a ID like directors have DIN or company have CIN or doctors have ID which is given by medical institute. Could politicians have ID number which is provided by some independent ethical institutions which could be revoked on such statements and all the benefits and privileges that come with it?
I wish there were such ID numbers, and I wish there were such institutions which would be allowed by our politicians to basically let themselves be restrained. As we have seen, they fiercely guard what they call freedom of speech and expression. They may have different interpretations. You may or may not agree, but they guard it fiercely. Yes, political parties can definitely rein them in, but it doesn't happen. The last one, if you recall, there was this incident involving senior BJP leader Kailash Vijayvargiya's son Akash. He was an MLA. He was seen wielding a bat against a civic official. And no less than Prime Minister Narendra Modi got so enraged at a parliamentary party meeting of the BJP. He actually expressed his anger and anguish. He said, whoever may be his father, it is not acceptable. After that, if the Prime Minister of the country has taken note of it, you expect the party to act. And we kept pestering the BJP whether even a notice was issued to Akash Vijayvargiya. No, never. The matter died down there. Then you have, and they have many other instances. You see Giraj Singh, for instance. Giraj Singh was the one who had said before 2014 Lok Sabha elections, then those who don't vote for Modi should go to Pakistan. So that kind of a polarizing figure, you expected him to be kind of sidelined after the government came to power. But no, he was inducted in the government. He was made a minister of state. And later on, today he is a cabinet minister. So he kept getting elevation as he continued to trigger controversy with his remarks. So no, I don't see any such institution, however independent they might be, being allowed to basically do any such thing with the MPs or with our public representatives. But yes, we as citizens do expect our political parties to be more proactive in reining in such public representatives.
Hi, this is Anamika from Indore. My question is, does this signify that India needs to change from first past the post system while electing representatives?
This is an old debate. Even when our constitution was being framed, there was a lot of debate on this issue in the Constituent Assembly. Many members, such as Sayyid Karimuddin, K.T. Shah, they were of the view that first past the post system would lead to a tyranny of the majority. They thought that minorities won't get enough representation, marginalized sections won't get enough representation. But then B.R. Ambedkar and others were of the view that the literacy rate in India was very low and people won't be able to deal with a complicated system other than the first past the post system, which is very simple. You go and vote for the candidate you want. Other systems are very complicated, and there are many other systems in vogue in other countries. Even today, this debate is on. You remember in 2014 when the BJP got 31% vote and 282 seats in the Lok Sabha, the opposition party's favorite line would be, 69% of the people have not voted for them. Well, in 2019, BJP has got over 37% votes, and NDA put together have got about 45% votes. But then if you look at it, again, the majority of people have not voted for them. But that argument doesn't really hold. Because, well, if you actually get into nitty-gritty, what you say is, even in 2019, BJP may have got more than 50% votes on 224 out of 303 seats, if I remember it right. So they may have a counter argument. But yeah, coming back to your question, there are many electoral systems, but experts, and as I said, there has been a raging debate on this issue, but experts haven't been able to come to a consensus on which is the best one. So as it's functioning today, fine, I mean, that's for the experts to decide which one to go for, if at all we need to change our system. But if you ask me, I have, my favorite is the Australian system. When you elect the House of Representatives in Australia, you have this system called instant runoff. It's a preferential voting system where you don't have to vote for just one candidate as we do here in India as part of first past the post system. What you do is you basically rank them. So here is your choice number 1, choice number 2, choice number 3. So you rank all these candidates. All the votes will be put together, and the candidate who gets more than 50% votes plus 1 will be elected. Suppose nobody gets in the first round, nobody gets 50% votes. Then the candidate who has got the least will be eliminated from that round, and the votes he has got would be added to, or the voters who have voted for him, their votes would be added to the second option they had made. And then again, next round, until there is one candidate who has got 50%, at least 50% votes plus 1. That's a system I love. Well, it's a matter of debate whether we can have it here, but well, that's my favorite, as I said. Anyway, that's all from me today in this episode. Please subscribe to our channel, YouTube channel for more videos. And please keep sending your views and please keep watching. Thank you.